From 2012 through August 2016, Rendy Reviews used to operate on the web hosting site Webs under a free account. It was a very garbage looking website to say the least, but it was the original home base where Rendy Reviews got its humble beginnings. Unfortunately, every now and then, the platform would straight up delete my reviews, and I had no method of retrieving any of those reviews back whatsoever. I even used a Wayback Machine, and that didn't help either. All of that hard work went missing, and there was nothing I could do. All of my reviews ranging between 2012 and December 2014 were completely gone. As the 10th anniversary of Rendy Reviews approaches, I decided to reclaim my babies' glory and review every old movie that was deleted, but with a fresh adult eye. I started this website when I was 14, I'm about to be 24, this brand, outlet, site, YouTube, whatever this is at this point is about to turn 10, and I'm so excited to see if these movies that I either loved or hated withstands the test of time and still holds up today. Without further ado, welcome to Rendy Re-Reviews. It's time to talk about the Lorax.
Did you chop down this tree?
What's that?
I think he did it.
In the early 2010s, Illumination Entertainment was the new kid on the block, set to take Western studio animation by storm. Well, not in terms of quality, but with financial success. Universal Pictures and Chris Meledandri found the key to making profitable animated projects that managed to make this studio run laps around Blue Sky, rest in peace, and DreamWorks throughout the decade. A rough $70 million for production, selling an all-star voice cast, you know, the typical Hollywood practice, and most importantly, marketing out of the wazoo. They're like the Tyler Perry of animation. They have a mediocre quality of storytelling, but know how to play the game and appeal to their demographic. It worked for Despicable Me, well, not really for Hop.
See? Jelly beans? No way.
But it was solidified with the Lorax. Oh wait, it's Illumination Presents Dr. Seuss's The Lorax, which is an odd feature. Yeah, to be fair, every Dr. Seuss book to film adaptation is a weird product.
Dirty hoe. I'm sorry, baby, I love you.
It's so difficult to adapt a short picture book into a full feature film. By 2012, the only successful picture books of movie adaptation, as far as quality, were Cloudy with the Chances of Meatballs and to some extent Blue Skies' Horton Hears a Who. With the Lorax, the team at Illumination perfectly nailed the look and style of Dr. Seuss in nearly every facet. Its bright and colorful art direction fits Seuss's visual style in both environments and character design. The late Audrey Gizel was very adamant about animation being the only medium for her husband's works, and she was right to do so. Danny DeVito as the Lorax is just excellent. Seriously, the decision to have DeVito play the Lorax is like the best casting of all time.
I love playing the Lorax so much. I thought, why not do the Lorax voices in all the different languages myself? I got a couple of minutes. Why don't I do that? How tough could that be?
It's practically just his natural calling.
I am the Lorax!
Since I hadn't watched this movie in almost 10 years, I totally forgot it was a musical. It's pretty bold how the marketing completely avoided revealing that detail. I remember when I watched the film for the first time in theaters and the Thneedville opening occurred, I jumped in my seat in shock and went, whoa, this is a musical? Nobody told me this was going to be a musical. Oh boy, you better have some good tunes. While this was a musical with a voice cast that featured Zac Efron and Taylor Swift, they didn't sing. This was the biggest Taylor Swift misdirection before the one where people thought Wildest Dreams Taylor's version was gonna drop for Spirit Untamed. People were robbed. As you could tell, because the way I forgot, most of the songs weren't memorable. Except for one. You know which one. The Lorax itself was a heavy-handed dystopian tale, albeit the bright colors injected throughout. It combated environmentalism and pollution in an effective light that didn't speak down to kids, with the conclusion that inflicted the idea of hope more so than a definitive happy ending. Fortunately, the only thing that Illumination's feature had going for it was its bright colors. Otherwise, it was a hollow movie with questionable marketing. This story had an outright anti-capitalist and pollution message. Yet Universal made a licensing deal with Mazda to sell cars. What in the hypocritical shit was that? Some of the surreal humor regarding commercialism and government surveillance somehow became our reality in later years, but they weren't necessarily developed despite the film having decent ideas to work with. The setup feels disingenuous where Ted, a kid that lived in a post-apocalyptic town and was curious about what happened to the trees, is now a full-fledged simp for an art girl named Audrey. You know, because Dr. Seuss's name was Ted and Audrey was his lover. Whatever. She wants to see a real life tree and says if someone would get one for me, I'd marry them on the spot. And like the little simp that he is, he ventures out to find the Onceler, who tells him how he was solely responsible for the extinction of the tree population. For the film emphasizes on gags and antics featuring the cute creatures of the forest. It doesn't help that they make the Onceler a gentrifier who exudes an "anyway, here's Wonderwall" energy. He looks like every other white dude who lives in Williamsburg or Bushwick and gets drip coffee from expensive coffee shops. I wouldn't know. I live in Greenpoint. Instead, it speaks down to kids by having prolonged, nonsensical scenes of slapstick, visual gags, hip set pieces and action sequences, and silly humor. This is undeniably cute for the demographic, for sure, but not for such a heavy-handed book. Even the Lorax himself doesn't do much except preach his ideologies to the Onceler until he fucks up. He's the guardian of the forest and he doesn't do shit. I'm not saying he had to go full Mononoke, but this mustache man is so useless. The film's environmental message is completely undermined by everything else in order to compensate for the short runtime. If only it had a better screenplay to match the same boldness as that song that made every girl on Tumblr go nuts in 2012. Outside of the visuals, the narrative tone is inconsistent and way too watered down to give SEUSS's story justice. The egregious capitalistic marketing campaign makes this feel like a hollow and forgettable movie. I remember giving this movie a reluctant 3-star rating at the time, but now, the 2 stars, just 2. Hey, go watch Ferngully or go watch Wall-E instead. Yeah, just go watch Wall-E. Have fun with that. That being said, How Bad Can I Be is an absolute pop of a villain song. Hardly any Disney villain song has come close within the last 10 years. I swear this song goes so hard for no reason. Ed Helms is the GOAT! Sorry, that was young Rendy projecting. 2 stars!